What is up, YouTube? Hellspawn here. I did some custom Hot Wheels, and damn, I'm good. um, yeah, I did some custom Hot Wheels, and they turned out really nice, and I'm really happy with them, and I want to share them with you. So, um, where should I start? First of all, I will be getting my iPhone replaced this week, so I should have my HD camera back, so it's not all scratched up. So everything will be in HD as of next week. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I'm going to post a video right before I post this video showing kind of a before of one of the cars that I did, because to get the true idea of what I did to this thing, you really need to watch that video to be able to understand how much work I put into this one particular car. So, without further ado, the first one I worked on, if anybody has ever seen, which I'm sure all of you have, the off-road series, there's that green, like, Bronco. What is it? It's a, not a Bronco. Yeah, a green custom Ford Bronco. And a friend of mine had this car, and he kind of destroyed it. He broke the base in half, and he harvested the wheels off of it, and all sorts of good stuff. So I took it and turned it into this right here. So I left the body exactly the way that it is. That's exactly how the body. That's exactly how the body normally comes. So I left the body green. And if you remember, the interior and the top were all solid white. So I went in there and I painted it all black. I detailed the little lights there. You can see the rack in the back is all painted silver right there. You know, the steering wheel, some of the details inside are silver. I took wheels from the Monster Dairy Delivery and put them on there and painted them. If you look down in there, I painted all the shock absorbers silver and stuff. Re-glued the base together because it was snapped right here. It was totally broken in half. When he pulled it apart, you can also see how it's kind of bent right there from prying on it. But I was able to kind of fit it back in there as best I could. And it turned out to be a really cool little car. So super happy with it. I'm going to put it on the custom shelf. And yeah, so pretty awesome custom Ford Bronco there that I just put together with a minimal amount of work. That wasn't a full custom. That was kind of just a modifying. This one I actually did last night. It's a dairy delivery. And what I did is I wanted to do kind of like an Air Force themed dairy delivery. So I took a dairy, stripped it down, painted it primer gray, and then I found an old model kit and I put decals from my old model kit all over it to make it look like an Air Force dairy delivery. So, and then I clear coated it and then put it all back together. So I think this one turned out really good too. I was really happy with the way that it turned out, all the different decals and stuff on the front. I need to detail this in. I'm going to paint the grille black and the headlights and stuff, but I need to get some more paint tonight on the way home before I do that. So turned out really cool, really happy with that Air Force style dairy delivery. I did another dairy delivery where I found this X Metals paint, and it's really hard to see the color there. I painted it that metal flake plum purple, and then I two-toned it with flat black and then coated that with a satin clear coat on the top. So the whole top is black, and you can see the dairy itself is that shiny plum purple. And then I put Blue Line Real Riders on it. So really like that color. I really like the way the paint job turned out on this. Probably one of my better paint jobs. So really cool. Purple and black two-tone dairy delivery. Now, if you watched the video right before this one, at a diecast show, I found an old Real Riders Ford Bronco that was in really bad shape. When I say really bad shape, it's like, oh, why would anybody ever do this to this poor car? But it's got the gray hub Real Rider knobbies on it. And it was, I mean, you all know what the Ford Bronco looks like. Somebody had painted it red, and when they painted it red, just for example, I don't want to show the car yet, like, imagine if I wanted to paint this red. They took the truck and just painted it. They didn't take it apart. They left the windows in, they left the wheels on, and painted it with a brush, so it looked horrible. It was all glopped up and thick and nasty. It was just really bad. And they got paint on the windows. They got paint all over the tires. And, yeah, it just wasn't good. So I took the truck and I tried to strip it. I actually coated it twice with stripper, and it wouldn't take all the paint off. It wouldn't take a good majority of the paint off. So I ended up taking out the Dremel tool with a wire wheel brush, and I actually had to wire wheel all the paint off of that thing. And that took some time, but it was the only way I could get it down to bare metal. I even had to do the inside because of what I'm going to show you. The inside needed to look good too. But the metal was all corroded. You know what, that old metal, when it starts to get kind of like pot marked and like corroded and stuff, it was not in good shape. But after a couple hours of work, I came up with this. And let me tell you a little bit about this. If you remember, it was red with white on here, and then a chrome interior, and then the Real Rider Gray Hub Real Rider tires. I took brown paint and painted mud on the tires because it was red, and the red paint, I couldn't get it off of the wheels without destroying the rubber. So I just took brown and painted over top of the wheels and made it look like mud splatter. I stripped down the body and painted it an official licensed Dodge Hemi orange. And you can't see it from over the camera, but it's got like a metal flake to the orange. Looks really good. Painted the canopy black. I painted the grill, so as you can see, the turn signals, the headlights, and the grill are all painted. And then what I did was I took the Dremel and I sanded off the raised areas so that the chrome came back through. And then I used a buffing wheel and I polished the front bumper. It used to look like that right there. See how it's all nasty and gross? That's what that front used to look like until I got to it. Painted the door handles, and everybody knows that this has a motorcycle on the back right here. Well, it looked chrome, and it looked like the chrome was peeling off. It was really bad. So I took some time and totally detailed out the bike on the back. So now the whole bike has been painted, and the back bumper got the same treatment as the front. Also, this window, the windshield, you can see I painted a sun visor on there because there was red paint on it and I couldn't get the red paint off again without destroying the plastic of the window. So I said, you know, why don't I just paint a stripe across the top and call it a sun visor? And that turned out really good, and it matches the back. But the windows in this thing, they basically span the entire car. They went all the way around. Side windows, front windshield, the back, everything. You could pull this plastic piece off, but when you did, it looked like it was a little canopy of windows on the back because it basically enveloped the entire vehicle. So and there was red paint on the side window, so I said, well, I can't get that off. And when I was dismantling the car and I took this back canopy off, it looked really cool. So I said, what if I took a Dremel tool, cut the window here, excuse my animals, hey! I said, what if I cut the window here and then cut the window here, took out the side windows so there's no more windows in the side, glued the front windshield in, which looks just fine, and then I glued the back windows into this canopy here so that you could actually take the canopy off and the window stays in the canopy, and now it looks like an off-road kind of mudding truck. The interior is totally detailed. The carpets were painted gray, the interior is painted black, and the seats were painted tan. And now you have like an off-road mudding truck that you could take that top off and leave that behind. So this turned out awesome. I am so tickled pink with how cool this thing turned out. It really exceeded my my expectations of what I would be able to do. So I'm extremely happy with that and really glad that it turned out as nice as it did. Now, this last custom is actually, I guess I could call it a collaboration because the body is actually the dairy delivery that Picker Nation made for me. And if you guys ever saw the dairy that Picker did for me, it's got the Hellspawn on it, and you know, the back and the top. And he did a really great job. It's bare metal with these decals on there, and he clear coated it. It looks great. And it looks so good that I was actually, what I was going to do was I was going to use the Air Force body on this, but I decided at the last minute that I liked Picker's body better than mine. So what I did was I pulled the base off of this, and I put the base from this onto this. So the red wheels and the base from the Derry that Picker did, I put on the custom body that I made. And I made something of my own. Everybody knows what this is. I'm sure we all have them. And the thing that really, this is a really cool car, but the thing that really frustrated me about this car was that, look at, come on guys. When we all heard about this, we all wanted one of these as a monster truck, but what we got was a micro machine version of what it should have been. Obviously, I understand why they did it, because if you were to put proportionate tires, monster truck tires, on a real size Derry, this thing would have been like, you know, this big. It would have been almost impossible to put on a normal cart. So, you know, everybody was kind of hemming and hawing about how, oh, man, that sucks, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking about it and decided that I was going to do something about it. So what I did was I made my own Derry delivery monster truck. And basically what I did was I took one of these. This is, I don't know what company makes these. It's, oh, Jada. It's a Jada truck. And they sell them at Walmart, the off-road Jada trucks. And you can see this is actually a good deal bit bigger than a normal sized Hot Wheel car. But I think they're like 1/50th or something like that. But yeah, so, but basically what I did was I cut the undercarriage off of this. This is like a dually, like a big redneck mudding truck with a big old, with those big tires on it. So what I did was I cut the undercarriage off the bottom, and of course the wheelbase was too long, and there were several other problems with making it fit a Derry delivery. So I cut down the frame and the suspension, and I glued it all together and make the wheelbase the right length. And then what I did was I fit it to a Derry delivery base, which I pulled the wheels off of a Derry delivery, took the base, traced where the frame that I made was going to touch the Derry delivery base, took my Dremel, went in and carved out the base so that my suspension and my frame would fit flush to the bottom, and then glued it all in. So, I mean, as you can see, it's all connected on there. I mean, I've even got like the little support bars and stuff on the back that connect just like they should. You can see right here, these are all connected to the base and, you know, the frame and everything. And it's got these big old knobby mud tires on it, and it looks freaking fantastic. So, if you see the difference between mine and theirs, mine is a full-size monster truck Derry delivery, and it's actually one of the first ones and probably the only one that I've ever seen anybody do. But it turned out fantastic. I really like it. I mean, it even rolls really good if you look at the way that it rolls. I mean, you can't really let it go, but I mean, it rolls really, really nice. I like it a lot. So, you know, yeah, I was busy yesterday.